situation was a little different. He knew coming in that there was going to be some competition because Dabo never hid that. He said they would still play 2 quarterbacks until they made their decision. Kelly Bryant had some good times, so did Trevor Lawrence. But I think the deciding game was, I can't remember who the opponent was, but you seen that Kelly Bryant could not really move the ball all that well. Trevor Lawrence comes in and just tosses touchdowns like there ain't nothing. So at that point, Dabo decides he's going to go with Lawrence, but he could have kept his mouth shut and not said a damn thing. And he had the Syracuse game coming up, the game they lost last year, the game Kelly Bryant got knocked out of and they lost. He could have not said a word, let the time pass, and then Kelly Bryant would have been unable to transfer because of the NCAA rules, would not have been able to transfer to any other school and play for anybody else. But instead, he went to him like a man and said, hey, look, we're going to go with Trevor. If you want the opportunity, you can go to another school. Now, at that point, Kelly Bryant's got 2 choices, obviously. He can stay. He can be the backup there in Clemson because you're only 1 play away from being right back in there as a starter. Hell, if he had done that, he'd have been right back in there in the Syracuse game. Could have been the hero of the game. Who knows what happens. Or you can leave and try to find somewhere else to play, which is always an option. I won't ever knock a guy for trying to broaden his horizons. And I like Kelly Bryant. But, Dabo just knew it was time to make a change. I mean, you got there last year with Kelly Bryant, and he pretty much was not able to get it done against Alabama in the college playoffs. So you're pretty much going in there with the same gun, trying to fight a fight that the other guy's got a bigger gun, and you're not going to be able to hold up. So you got to change it up just a little bit, which is what Dabo did with Trevor Lawrence. In my opinion, Kelly Bryant should go to the South Carolina Gamecocks. I think that would make all the sense in the world. It would be the best marriage, so to speak. South Carolina needs a quarterback. Jake Bentley is not, I repeat, is not the answer. That's one Bentley. They want to let the repo man come grab. Somebody give that man's number to Bill Norwood. Let him come grab him up. It's not going to happen with Jake Bentley. The man folds in big games. He's not the answer. You put Kelly Bryant on that team, it gives that whole defense, the whole offense, a shot in the arm, revitalizes them, opens up your playbook just a little bit, and you have the granddaddy of them all at the last game of the year, Clemson, the revenge game, Kelly Bryant versus his old team. Can you imagine the hype on that, folks? I mean, that game would be through the roof more than it already is. Because I'll put it to you like this. If you go in there where it stands right now, Jake Bentley's going to throw a few interceptions for you, and you're probably going to lose the game anywhere from 7 to 14 points. That's my early prediction for that. So, what's your perception of Dabo? Was he a dick for benching a guy? How can you be a dick for being a coach? He's doing what's best for the team. He'd have been an asshole if he had kept him just because he liked him. I'm dealing with enough of that when I had Jerry Richardson owning the Panthers. Keeping somebody because they like him, not because they can help you win a damn football game. All right, this is a business, not a breakfast. All right, if I don't like you, but you can help me win, we're going to work together. I may not have you over to my house for breakfast. We're going to work together. Now, but if I like you, you can come on over and fix a plate. So there's a difference here, folks. People got to realize that. LeBron gets the same thing. People get a knock on LeBron for leaving here and leaving there. But when a man goes where he goes, he doesn't just up and leave because he's pissed off. He runs out his contract. He does his contract. He honors his contract. And then he leaves. Now, nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that, folks. Not a thing wrong with it. As long as you do what you're supposed to do when you're there, don't just up and leave for no reason, up and leave without the, respect to telling folks. There's not a thing wrong with it, in my opinion. But that's kind of the gist of the show here. Do your own research. Do your due diligence in anything and look deeper into the situation. Because, folks, I'm going to tell you, the media and the news and the internet are only going to print what they want you to read. The radio is only going to play what they want you to hear. It is all going to be critiqued to the way it wants it to be heard by the casual viewer, and they can twist any type of story, any type of snippet, and make it sound any old way they want to. That's just how it is. They might say, well, that really doesn't happen. Bullshit. It really doesn't happen. It happens all the time. And I'll give you one example here before I wrap this show up. I was watching a documentary the other day on YouTube that I happened to land on, and I thought it was labeled wrong because it was about a drug kingpin in New York named Frank Matthews. Well, most of everyone is familiar with the role of Frank Lucas that was portrayed by Denzel Washington in the movie American Gangster. So here I am thinking, well, damn, this guy uploaded a video to YouTube and he's got the wrong name on there. It's supposed to be Frank Lucas, not Frank Matthews. Well, boy, was I wrong, because Frank Matthews was probably 10 times bigger the drug smuggler and the drug seller than Frank Lucas was. Frank Matthews had people from one side of the state to the other. Now Frank Lucas is credited for bringing in the heroin from the coffins from overseas, called it the coffin connection and all that. But folks, Frank Matthews just didn't give a damn. He got it in however he wanted to. And the difference is that Frank Lucas eventually wound up getting caught, cooperating with the authorities. Frank Matthews did not, and the reason he did not is because he A, either got away, or B, was killed. Nobody really knows. He just disappeared. He had been arrested. He was awaiting trial, but he was out on bail. He got word that another indictment was coming down. This indictment was going to be pretty heavy. He went to his house, packed up his things, stopped by a bank in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is where he was from. And him and his girlfriend was missed by the cops there that was looking for him in Raleigh because he had skipped town in North Carolina or New York. And he missed them by about 5 minutes. And after that, that's the last he's been seen. Nobody's seen or heard from him again. Nobody's confirmed that he's dead. Nobody's confirmed that he's alive. Nobody knows. Now, there's talks that the mafia may have had some dealings with that. He actually moved into a neighborhood in Tote Hill, which is a very, very high-class neighborhood. He was neighbors with mobsters. And when I say mobsters, I'm talking bosses. Paul Castellano, the head guy of the Gambino crime family at the time, before he was shot down in front of Spark Steakhouse, do a John Gotti setup. Paul Castellano was his neighbor. On the other side of the street, you got Tommy Three Fingers Lucchese, who was the Lucchese family boss. So these two are not two guys that you want to rub the wrong way. They want to keep a low profile, high class neighborhood, just keep everything running under the radar. And here comes Frank Matthews, who's partying every night, throwing these lavish barbecues and everything else. And they had to go over there and have a little talk with him and say, hey, look, we moved here to get away from all this shit. You're bringing heat. You're bringing unwanted attention. And, Frank really didn't care. Basically told him to go fuck yourself. So some people say that the mob may have had something to do with his disappearance. That's never been confirmed. Probably never will be. Me personally, I think he's still alive. Probably in another country somewhere, I would imagine. But the reason they don't want to show that movie, to me, would have been more entertaining than the American Gangster they show with Denzel Washington. Could have let Denzel still play the part. I could care less who plays the part. But the story would have been more entertaining if you'd have done the one on Frank Matthews. They don't want to do that because they don't want to give you a perception that you can get away with it. They want to give you a perception that you're going to get caught. Him and Nicky Barnes both got caught. Both were high-profile cases. Both got caught. Both were rats. They ratted out, other people to the government. So that's what they want to portray in the movies. They don't want to give you the facts that, hey, you can get by with it. You can, get out of here. And for all intents and purposes, Frank Matthews may have died. I don't know. I just know he's not sitting in prison. I know that. So if those kind of things interest you, I definitely recommend you looking that up. It's about an hour and a half. Great documentary. It's by Al Prophet, a great guy. Does a lot of good documentaries on there. Prophet does. So, give that a look, give that a listen, see what you think. I thought it was very interesting. They do interviews from people from New York, people from Baltimore, other people that Frank dealt with in his life, all the way back to people from the Raleigh area that knew him, when he was there, and knew his family and stuff when he was there. So, if you got time, definitely go give that a listen. It's really good, really informative, and like I said, all-around good story. I wish they would have went with that one instead of the American Gangster one like they did following Frank Lucas. But, like I said, there's an underlining theme there of why they don't know what happened. They didn't know how to tie it in. That guy got away. We'll give you the story with the guy that, turned rat and got caught. That's my opinion. But that about wraps it up. You guys have a good, safe weekend. I'll probably come back at you over the weekend. Other sports news just right before we close it up here. Khabib, whatever the hell his name is, has challenged Floyd Mayweather to a fight. Floyd Mayweather has said he would. I'm not sure what they're trying to accomplish here. Obviously, they're trying to redo the Conor numbers when he fought Mayweather, but Khabib doesn't have the personality to pull that off like Conor did. Even though Conor probably knew he was going to lose, he had the personality and the talk game and the charisma to pull it off, pull the hype off, rather. So I don't think that's going to be able to happen with Khabib. I really don't. Whether the fight will happen altogether, I don't know that either. Dana White says that him and Khabib have buried the hatchet and everything is good. So that remains to be seen. We'll see how that shakes out. Other than that, folks, you have a good weekend. Be safe. We'll probably get back up a little bit later on first next week, review the football. Everybody have a great, great weekend. Hollywood Ways, Sound Off Radio. Peace.